So, mother dearest, what are we going to be cooking today?
Sir. Well, today I thought we'll just do some vegetable soup. Soup is one of the things that you can make for a few days and you can keep in the fridge for a few days. It's butternut squash, pumpkin and carrot soup. So we've got a sweet potato which I've diced, some ordinary potatoes again which I've diced, a couple of cloves of garlic. I'm putting these in, and I don't know how many of you will recognise this, because this is chocho. I've only got a little bit of it, and so I thought just put it in, so it's all going in. When this is cooked and I've done the base for the soup, I shall add in the carrots and the broccoli, because I like to see a bit of green in my soup. So the broccoli is going to have that, and the carrots, as you can see, are finely shredded, so that should cook quite quick. We'll give this about 20 minutes to cook. Now I quite like the taste of, when I do soup, of roasted vegetable, and because it's a vegetable soup, I've roasted off some of the vegetables. Again, it's just a sweet potato that's in there, and an onion, a couple of garlic cloves, and so what I'm going to do when this is cooked is to blend this lot and then add it in to finish off. Right, so just allow that to cook for, as I say, about 20 minutes. Our vegetables are cooking nicely, and when it's all ready, when it's soft enough, what I shall do is I will blend the roasted vegetables, because what I did and what I do like is sometimes to roast off half of the vegetables and then blend that, which will form the basis for the soup and make it very smooth. To the
smooth is a good word.
Very smooth on the tongue.
See.
Yes.
I see.
Just add to the overall taste. Yes. One of the other ingredients we can put in is coconut. Now I love cream coconut, so I use it a lot in my dishes. When I was growing up and I came to this country, a lot of the experts, nutritionists say, get rid of the coconut because it's bad for your cholesterol. But recently we found out that it's not so. I think mainstream nutritionists and everybody's come around to the fact that coconut is very, very good for us. Another ingredient that some of us Jamaican people put in their soups are noodles. So we will put
noodles.
Yes. Noodle soup mix. Now you don't have to put it in, but you could, because once I've blended some of the vegetables, it probably isn't needed. But just for added texture, because I like my soup to have a little bit of bite.
A bit of bite.
A little bit of bite, yes. You can actually, so you feel as if you're having something substantial. My veg are soft enough now, so I can blend, the base. For my soup. another thing that I've put in is I put a little bit of ginger in because I love the taste of ginger, and I also think that ginger goes very well in this particular soup. So it's only about half an inch.
What does ginger bring to the soup itself?
It just gives it a little bit of a kick. Because as I was saying, you know, these things really are down to one's taste, your taste buds, and I just like the little bit of heat that ginger brings to the soup. So hence why I've put it in, but you don't necessarily have to do that. And when that's blended, then all you'll get is that hint of ginger, because it's not going to be overpowering or anything. One of the things that I really love about cooking is that it's so adaptable. You don't have to stick to, well, I don't stick to any traditional rules. Oh, this is the way to do that, this is the way to do that. You learn by experience. So, you know, you put a bit of this in and you put a bit of that in, and you taste it and you say, oh, that's enhanced the flavour. Oh, that tastes quite good. So, you know, you'll learn as you go along. Going out, eating in restaurants or going on holiday, where your taste buds are introduced to new foods and new tastes, you come back home and think, oh, right, I'm going to try and incorporate that. I'm going to try and do this. And it works very well. But it's, as I say, again, it's a very personal thing, cooking. So you can adapt things to your own taste. Right, so now I think my vegetables are cooked. And I'm going to blend the roasted vegetables and then add them to the main pot. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to add it to the main vegetables, as you can see. Right, so there we go. Add the blended roasted veg.
And then what happens after this?
Right, then I'm going to put in the carrots, because those won't take very long to cook, because as I say, I want some texture.
Some texture. Some
texture to this soup. It's not going to be, you know, just smooth.
Something I'm getting from this is that it's not just about the taste of the food, it's about the consistency.
It's all about, yes, exactly. So
the experience.
If I was doing this soup as a starter, I certainly wouldn't have put in the veg that I've just put in now. I would have just blended it and serve it like that, and that would be fine. But because we're having this as more like a main dish, I wanted to have that little bit of texture. So if you have a look now, you can see the consistency of that. Oh, yeah. So when that's all cooked, now, you know, you have a little bowl of that with a slice of hard-dough bread or a pita bread, you know, toasted, and you know, there you are, a meal.
So for anyone who doesn't know, Mother, right, but you said hard-dough bread.
Yes.
So there's someone in Spain right now is thinking, hard-dough bread? What is this?
Hard-dough bread is a traditional Jamaican bread.
And I think it's safe to say that hard-dough bread is the tastiest bread on earth, isn't it?
Well, to me it is.
Safe to say.
I mean, other people will probably disagree, but you know, to me, it is the best bread. The last bit of ingredients is I'm going to put in a little bit of the cream coconut, because that will just add again to the creaminess of this soup. Now, as I said earlier, regarding the Jamaican cock soup that most people put in on them Saturday soup, right? But you don't have to add it, because if you look, it's quite, look at that consistency, it's quite thick already. Yeah? So you don't have to add it in at all. I don't generally cook with much added salt, and that's one of the reasons why I like to use like a lot of onions and garlic in my cooking. Also some fresh thyme if you've got it, or thyme even, or we Jamaicans say thyme. Put some thyme in the soup, right? Because it all flavours it and gives it that lovely flavour without the salt. Because one thing that I know we black people suffer with is high blood pressure, and although a little bit of salt is good still, but sometimes we tend to put too much salt in. So what I normally do during my cooking is very, very little salt, and if people want salt at the dinner table, they can add it. Some we Jamaican like with pepper. So, you know, everything, like your father for instance, he's got to have a bottle of pepper beside him. And when the soup's all finished,
we're going to put a liberal dosing of pepper in.
I'll put a bit of the pepper in. Yeah, because I know if I don't put it in, your father's not going to eat it. He's going to say, Joyce, where's the pepper? You never put no pepper in this soup at all. Where's the pepper? But as I say, again, that's something that you can take to the table and people can put in what they want. Because like salt, once you put the pepper in, you can't take it out. So it's one of those ingredients where, you know, if you put too much in, that's it. It's ruined. And as I say, everybody's tastes are different, especially if you're cooking for other people outside the family, where people are coming for dinner, for instance. It's not wise to go overboard with things like pepper. So you leave that out, and then, as I say, people can add, but they can't take away. Yeah, and sometimes as well, you know, we can ruin the taste of the food. Yeah, by putting too much pepper. Now, one last ingredient is the thyme. Now, I've got some growing in the garden, so I'm going to go and pick some and bring it in. Like 5 minutes before it's literally ready, you just put that in and you'll get all the flavour. Now the vegetables that I added in must, they're nice and soft. So I'm just going to add the thyme in, or the thyme even, that I got from my garden, the fresh thyme.
And what's that going to give it?
It's just give it a lovely flavour. Yeah. So herbs, especially thyme goes, or thyme even, goes really well in soups, especially vegetable soups. Just leave that for 5 minutes to simmer for 5 minutes, and we're done really. And we're going to serve it with some toasted pita bread today. Normally I'd probably be serving it with some hard dough, which we discussed earlier, but no hard dough bread today. So
this is how we do things at Adassa's kitchen.
This is how we do things here. Yeah, so no hard and fast rules about what to do, what to put in, when to do this and when to do that. I cook by sight, by taste, and you know, I'll go by those things. So if I add something in and you know, it doesn't taste quite right, I think, oh, next time I shan't use that. But over time you develop your own style of cooking, and you also, you know, your palate also becomes quite discerning. So therefore, you know exactly what to add or what not to add.
What mistakes would you say people usually make when they're cooking? Or like mistakes in their approaches to cooking?
Or perhaps scared of trying something new or mixing flavours. And this is what I'm saying, it's all about experimenting. So if you try something and it doesn't work, you'll know next time, oh, I'm not gonna try that because it was a disaster. And so we have to sometimes make mistakes along the way, obviously. Yeah. So cooking's like anything. You don't just get up one morning and you're fantastic at it. It's a gradual process. You build up to it, and you find your own niche as you go along. Yeah. So here we go. So goodbye, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that, and you'll probably be tempted to try doing some soup. Until next time, subscribe and leave any comments in the box below. Thank you.
Bye everybody.
Next time.